All right, here we are in game one of this semifinal matchup between Snoxtar in the Blue Infernals and his celestial opponent, GameFriend. And this matchup is being played out in the Alpha Navigators Cup weekly number 23 in season 2. And if you've been paying attention to the Alpha Navigators Cup, you know that it is a series of weekly tournaments that culminates in a finals. So during the weekly tournaments, players earn points that will help them get seeded into the finals, and in some cases maybe get placed into the finals. And we are in week 7 of 8 weeks. Next week will be the final week, and then the week after that there will be the final. So stay tuned in 2 weeks for sort of the finals of season 2. And right now in season 2, our leaders are Theory and Yoru, point leaders. So we'll see how well Theory does today. It looks like Yoru did not enter the bracket today. So maybe not able to participate this week, but hopefully will show up for the finals. GameFriend creeping out here with Sarvin's watch on his power bank. But we also see Snoxtar annoyingly trying to get last kills, and he did manage to get one last kill with his skull. This is a great strategy for Infernals, but one thing that makes it a little hard for Infernals on this patch is there's a bug with the skull, and sometimes you'll lose a skull. It'll explode on nothing. It looks like the single fiend is now just going to be annoying by attacking the collection array while the Hexen teleported away. And we've got a third collection array going down. And where did our arc ship go? There's our arc ship helping to mine. And this fiend is still just doing damage to this collection array. It's going to take a while. The collection array, yeah. The collection array still heals as well. But the fiend by itself doing damage. I think it does something like 6 damage per hit. And we'll keep an eye on that collection array's health. We'll see what happens to it. Speedy little fiends getting that speed boost and rushing out here to continue some creeping. This is a large map, so usually what we see at the beginning is just sort of some solo creeping from our opponents. And right now, after that initial harass with the Hexen, Snoxtar has indeed started to creep his side of the map. Interesting build, though. We have a single vault here. We have a conclave only now just going down, and we have a third shrine. So this is a macro build for sure out of Snoxtar. In that last matchup, we saw some rushes, but I don't think we're going to necessarily see that here. And that's maybe just to match the eco of a Celestial player like GameFriend, who's already on 3 collection arrays. It's got 2. Looks like that fiend got cleaned up. Looks like the health is going up as well. Oh, sorry, we switched to the conclave here. Let's go back to our mine. Oh, okay, it's not going up super fast, but it does heal pretty well. I think if you surge it, it might heal more. I do know it helps the healing of the prisms, so maybe I'm making that up. It looks like Snoxtar is going to start to creep on GameFriend's side. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he decided not to. I thought maybe what he was doing there was hoping to catch GameFriend's units creeping and maybe get some kills on them. Instead, he's going to run away, and GameFriend is going to go for the health map. Now, GameFriend's added Kree. They're already upgraded. And upgraded Kree are definitely a good early game comp against a Infernal player. Especially one that's massing up fiends like Snoxtar is right now. What do we have here? Sneaky, sneaky. This could actually do some real damage to Snoxtar right now, because remember, he was quite slow, sorry, on his production build. Now he does have a small army now, and the macro is starting to kick in, and he does have 2 conclaves added, so he can actually produce well. But we see Krees being output here, and Let's see how GameFriend plans this. He's got this small army here. And if he does some good pronged attacks, here he is. Oh, okay, deciding to pull back. There's a mag. Maybe he's, yeah, there is a mag. The mag uses its trample. That's just sort of to zone away. And we have Kree splitting. We got 2 going for the natural. We have 3 appearing in the Luminite line and already going for, these imps get pulled. There are also imps. Ooh, these imps maybe not being noticed that there are Kree there. Nonetheless, these Kree moved, and again another leg spike. I apologize for that. And the Kree get on top of the Lumin. Oop, bug. Everything's going wrong. But it looks like Snoxtar's found the proxy. But it's about how much damage. Look how many blood splats there are here. So many dead imps. So many dead imps over here too. And these ones are uncontested. There's now a manifest Shroudstone on these Kree. One of them going down. And they're trying to focus that Shroudstone. I don't know if that's quite as good an idea as just running away. Again, they might not be microed here because there are Kree everywhere. There's this Kree also getting, it looks like, lots of imp kills up here before Magmadon cleans it up. Oh, and I thought this was going down, but new Kree pop out and cleaned up those gaunts that were on top of there. We have a Brute here trying to help out. Now the Mags come down. Now the Mag is going to be helpful. He's quite sturdy and does a lot of damage. He can get on top there. He might be able to zone any future Kree that come out. But these Kree are just trying to do damage. They're actually surrounded right now, trying to run away. This one awkwardly trapped between the building. That was weird. I wasn't sure if he was really trapped or maybe the pathing just bugged out there. But it looks like finally Snoxtar is going to clean this up. But I think this is definitely a good play. What do we have here? One more Kree chilling in the back. This was definitely a good play from GameFriend. Now, if he can capitalize on that and follow this up with some more, good damage. Let's see. We got 8 imps left here. We got 8 here. We have 6 here. So that doesn't sound too bad in terms of actual income, but at this stage in the game, I didn't see any on Ethereum either. Snoxtar is going to have to spend a couple minutes maybe rebuilding that imp force that he lost. Meanwhile, GameFriend, their supplies are kind of close, so we'll see what GameFriend's able to do. He does have a little bit bigger bank and might be able to use that. It looks like there might be a tech switch coming into Scythes, which is actually a really good way to follow up on that early damage. Maybe come in and snipe some expos with your Scythes. Has managed to get this expo up with Ethereum Purifier there. No prisms added. 4 prisms up here, so fully saturated in his main. No prisms added here, and we have no prisms added to this base. But it looks like, oh, here we go. We have prisms instead going across the map to mine over here. So a very interesting choice in terms of eco for GameFriend. One thing that this does, because collection arrays are effectively half of a saturated base, what this does is it slows down the mining out rate of those bases. So it kind of spreads your eco more around the map, and instead of having bases going down and having to make new bases, like you might have if you're an Infernal or a Vanguard, your bases just stay alive longer and longer into the game. And now we have that single mag has been joined by a ton of Plague Axe throwing, Plague Axe and Reaper's Rushed Gaunts. We have no upgrades on this mag yet, and we actually do have a bunch of Fiends running out here, and they're going to probably just try and scout out how spread out is that eco and can I punish it. So they run past this collection array. Interesting. Sort of an interesting zone. And that gave GameFriend enough time to spot them. And they're going to decide to retreat, actually. I thought they were going to focus there, but no, they decided to retreat. It's interesting. I'm like, what do we see here? We got scanners all over the map here for GameFriend. He can see everything. He's got a Morph Core over here. What's this? A Prism. Let me steal your minerals from your backyard. That's his strategy, and I think it's a good one, because with that early lead, you can take this eco and do something interesting with it He might be able to win this game, this first game. Now, Snoxtar, of course, doesn't want that to happen. He's got a strike force moving out here, and I think maybe what this is... he left the Meg at home, or did the Meg get lost in some engagement? I think the Meg's just slow. Now, that's a blast node. Boom. Some dead fiends, unfortunately. So maybe the timing of this attack is just a little too late, because now there are blast nodes up, and are there... These ones don't look like they're blast nodes yet. Oh, they're upgrading. Okay. So, and maybe stopping to take out this creep cap is, again, also just going to give them a little anti-timing on this attack. Because now we see a blast node up. Now we see a strike node up. There is an arc station over here. This arc station going to go down. Oh, geez. Oh, my goodness. The lag and the... causing my control to be a little bit wonky. Now, he's had to lift off the collection, and he's got Sarvin's watch on it, so it's sort of just this floating laser beam right now, but there's just a ton of gaunts here, and of course gaunts can shoot up, so it's not necessarily going to stay alive. It is retreating over the trees to try and get some safety where there's sort of less surface area for even the range units to shoot up at it or even see it. And now we see these units going... Oh, I didn't notice this here. We had GameFriend doing a counterattack down below, which of course is a great way to get those units to stop attacking, is to give them a reason to go back home. Nice Dark Prophecy. There's just a single Animancer there, but getting on top of a lot of units and also helping to zone any further reinforcements. But it looks like this army might be enough to clean up GameFriends, but GameFriend instead retreats. Probably wisely, although a little kind of softs around on these Argents, and they decide to turn and fight. Fortunately, all going down. And this base here is kind of up. There's two blast nodes there. Snoxtar are going to try and fight into them. And, ooh, okay, interesting. The blast node shots go off on the Brute, and the Brute actually just runs off. I like that. He kind of zoned him away from the rest of his units, so the splash damage didn't end up hitting his units. Now GameFriend lifted up again, made that laser beam, and Snoxtar chooses not to try and engage it with his gaunts. We instead have Shadow Flyers coming, and the Shadow Flyers impact. Not enough to take it out. But it does have that armor debuff now, and the Gaunts were trying to attack it, but once it flies over the trees, they lose vision, and I think it's just going to fly on home. Maybe it's just going to camp there, and another Scrolly Bug. Oh my goodness. Come on, Scrolly Bug. Looks like Snoxtar putting down his base here. And also another one here, but there are some Size here to try and harass it. As well as a couple Argents and some Animancers. But Snoxtar just goes for a cancel on that, brings his Mag over here, and punches down his own back door. There's a blast node at the front door, and it is managing to get some shots on the Magmadon. But there was nothing in the back door. So there's now Hellborn here raining down fireballs. And they do have the Molten Touch upgrade. So there's damage over time applied when they hit. And the Scythes try and get on top of them, but the Gaunts chase the Scythes away. Just too many Gaunts here, and the Scythes don't want to start going down. There's a great Dark Prophecy. Shadow Flyers show up, but they hang out in the Dark Prophecy too. Really good luck for GameFriend there, getting some good hits and managing to take out a lot of those units. But it looks like Snoxtar is still going to keep pushing here. Still has those Hellborn in the back that are raining down that damage. The Animancers on top of these Gaunts. The Gaunts were going to go down, but the Animancers choose to back off. I think one of them might have died, actually. Here we have Dark Prophecy on top of these creeps mostly, but on top of the Brute as well. And there is an Arc Fortress floating above, which does help out by casting some heals. Now it looks like the Gaunt Force has been cleaned up, or actually it's in retreat. and the Scythes are trying to claim this Hellborn. The Gaunts turn to fight the Scythes so that the Hellborn can get away. Alright, interesting back and forth so far. These supplies are pretty close. Knowing that that collection rate was low, Snoxtar continues to push on it and manages to take it out. So, despite retreating with a lot of his army, he did get a lot of damage done here and is actually pushing back out again. This a single brute and a Hellborn, just very bravely. But poor Hellborn, if these Arges turn around and get on top of it, it's going to go down. We need these Gaunts here to do some zoning. Poor Hellborn. Alright, so... Okay, so Snoxtar did his damage. Decides to do a little retreat there. And actually, these were probably just rallying Gaunts that got caught on the wrong side of the map. And there's just a ton of blast nodes here. And now these Gaunts are just walking through it. No, 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 no! Oh, so many dead Gaunts. Just a conga line of guts on the ground there. Not good for Snoxtar. Now Snoxtar's gone and taken this forward base. Snoxtar's now all over the map. Actually, both players have taken their side of the map. Other than this base that had gone down for GameFriend, he's also up on this side of the map. And we're at the stage where we start getting a little bit of static D being placed out in these choke points on each side. At least that's what we have for GameFriend here. I've also seen that being used by Infernal players with Shroudstone, so we'll see if we get that. So far it's actually just production down here that Snoxtar's dropped. And now Snoxtar looks like he's going to be pushing again, and I'm lagging a little bit again, so... got a dragon added here, and he's just going to push into these blast nodes. Kind of good concaves with the Gaunts, but now that the units for GameFriend have shown up, we got Archangels above. They're really good in the air against the dragon. They're also good if they can get that meteor strike down below, and we're getting really low frames per second here. Wish I could figure that. I think it might be because we're on a European server, so I apologize for that. And this army, it's hard to really see. The dragon's trying to get its shots in, but keeps getting zoned away. And the Argents keep trying to retreat every time they get smacked with some of those molten putts. So Snoxtar's army actually getting a little bit of an advantage here and pushing through that static D. Doesn't look like much, but he's still pushing forward with it. The dragon's turning around. There's these two Hellborn in the back that keep just raining down fire. And it's just not a huge army on either side, and that's why this skirmish continues. Every time those Hellborn get a shot off, so much damage is done. We see an Animancer going down there to the Hellborn. And if forced to retreat that much, the Hellborn can now start sieging these blast nodes and strike nodes. So the tide's turning in Snoxtar's favor here. Just using those Hellborn to push forward, while the rest of his army's just in reserve to take on any, pushback from GameFriend. Now GameFriend is pushing back. He's got his Argent Force repowered up. Took out that one Hellborn. And Snoxtar choosing to turn and fight, actually. Dark Prophecy, 2 Dark Prophecies going down. Pretty nice, getting some really good damage on those Gaunts and Brutes. And then there's just Argents here to try and clean it up, but we got a lot of Fiends probably from the Infest and some Split Brutes. Not to mention this Dragon up above here. And that Fiend Force is looking scary. And I think oh no, he's coming to take this camp. Possibly. Thought he was going to, but no, he's rotating around to try and see if he can take out this other base. He's got a speedy army, whereas GameFriend's army is not quite as speedy. I was going to say with the Animancers, but I don't see any Animancers in there right now. This base is going to go down. Floating collection array, Gaunts and Dragon are going to take it out. And GameFriend, it looks like, is maybe trying to go for a counter. Uses Evolution Catalyst to take out this Luminite camp. But now is unfortunately kind of out of position, as coming from behind are all these Fiends on top of the Argents who just have to run. And the sides now are trying to fight this force. There's a lot of Gaunts here. And the Gaunts push them back. The Argents unfortunately don't get away. The Fiends surround them. And yeah, Snoxtar's small advantage has turned into a quite big advantage. It's actually aggressively expoing into GameFriend's third here. I don't think I've ever seen this particular expo pattern in a game like this. But one thing I'll say about this map is, if you don't get aggressive like this, you end up mining out your side and your opponent mines out their side, and then you get into these awkward base race situations where your army's going around trying to kill all their base while their army's going around trying to kill yours. And instead, Snoxtar looks like he's trying to finish it right now by pushing in again to some static D here, but these Sais and Kree are pretty good against this combo. You just need a lot more of them. And turning to fight, getting a Sarvin's Watch off, trying to get as much from that defender's advantage as he can. But Snoxtar deciding to turn around, regroup, capture the speed camp, get lightning legs, and maybe just wait for this base to get up. He's hustling across here with his speedy army now, and deciding to maybe just get on top of these power banks and go wild. We now see GameFriend's in red power. So many power banks going down. At minus 65 power, minus 80 power. It's hard to recover from. And that's going to be a GG from GameFriend. Okay, well, let's get into game 2 here. This is going to be Snoxtar in the red Infernal, spawning up here on the top left of Furious Resolve. And GameFriend spawned in the bottom right. So we have cross spawns here. And he's going for a pretty standard collection array first. And let's see if he can take a win this game and force game 3. This Hexen of Snoxtar is going, well, there doesn't matter which direction she went. She was probably going to go to the wrong spot because of the cross spawn. So she sees there is no Celestial here. Has to walk right up to the mine because you don't know where that arc ship is or what's going on. Does not see anything. Now, what is her choice here? Does she continue to scout? Sometimes you might see a skull get cast. Or you might just see, teleport home and start creeping. Looks like she's... Okay, where's she going? I'm not really sure what the shortest path is over here. It looks like she ran around those trees to get there. What's this? We got an imp already out. What's this imp doing? Is this a Shroudstone imp? Is this a meat farm imp? Looks like it's a meat farm imp. Okay. And now our Hexen does get a scout. Sees a prism. Takes a pot shot at the prism, but then goes to scout. Okay, there is a collection array up. Is she going to scout all the way in? She's going to harass this prism that is mining Therium. Now, because it's not on the collection array, it's not going to be able to get healed with the surge. I think you have to be in range or on the collection array to get that bonus. But it looks like Snoxtar's not willing to commit a skull or any more harass, and GameFriend decides, okay, fine, I can set my prism back to mining on Therium. We have our first, what do we have? An Argent coming out of our creation chamber, and we have a Guardian Nexus almost, well, halfway done here. Looks like it's going to be Kree's again to open, and we'll see about what follows that up. Snoxtar going, was it double vault? No, vault conclave here, but opening with the vault, so has a brute to creep with. I think he likes this opening because of the fiends that he's able to accumulate with it. And there he has 4 or 5 fiends, so he's probably pretty skilled at getting the maximum benefit out of these creeping trips. And now he's headed down to the meat farm where there's already a brute. And the Fellhogs are doing the tanking, so sort of perfect little play here. A little extra speedy on the creeping so he can take out this camp. And again, those free Fellhogs have been doing a lot of the tanking there. So that means not even really damage taken on that brute. Now, GameFriend, what do we see out here? A single Cree. Looks like a Cree and an Argent here. Unfortunately getting caught out. Actually just slipping by that slippery little Cree. The Fiends are trying to get on top of the Argent. Get a lot of good damage on there. There is a Skull of Shedda impact on there. And it goes down. Another Fiend pops out and another Cree goes down. So pretty good damage actually. Killing an Argent and a Cree, losing a Fiend. And now it looks like instead of maybe trying to do some early aggression with that, GameFriend might try and do some creeping. Although there is a single Cree rolling across the map. Probably a Scout Cree is my guess. Or taking this camp? Okay, taking the camp. This camp taken, so now we got speedy legs for our Gaunts and our Fiends. I guess for Fiends it's like speedy arms because they don't really have legs. Just kind of pull themselves along on the ground. Maybe those are legs they're not arms. I'm not sure. Who knows? I'll have to ask the Fiend. So creeping out this camp here, and what is this Cree doing? The Cree's just chilling, like scouted out this base certainly, and again my controls are lagging out here. This poor Cree getting a weird kind of partial surround. The pathing is not favorable for it, but it does roll into its Droidica form and scurry on out of there. And it looks like these Cree, as well as a pencil crown shooter, a V5 rocket launcher, also known as, takes out that farm, and now these Cree get on top of the Gaunt, so that's actually some really good kills on the Gaunt. You have the rocket launcher shooting its pencil crowns off, and the Cree scurrying right in. Is there a good block this time? Not really. Actually, I didn't see if that happened right there, but this effigy is clutch. This effigy plus a Fellhog blocked the way in there, and that Shroudstone is also at a clutch location. Snoxtar able to make those snap decisions, which is really good. And these Cree, unfortunately, not getting any real damage. I mean, they managed to kill some of those army, which is great, but they were hoping with that advantage maybe to get in and kill some imps. And these units are marching back across the map. Where did they go? They maybe came to clean this out. So looks like Snoxtar was able to hold that just with his units back home. Or at least deflect it. Let's call it deflect it. Because there wasn't really as much of an engagement as there was just zoning. And now he's creeping these larger caps. I really think this is an advantage for Snoxtar right now. He's getting an increased income. Not just from killing the creeps, but also from getting these resource-based camps. He's come down here to try and clear out this Cree that was trying to recapture one of them. And again, that's just that extra income bonus that he's got. These Cree are going to come take this out. But there's only 3 Cree here, and it looks like Snoxtar is looking to be aggressive. He's going to come on top of this base. And that's one link node going down, and looks like there's going to be this power bank going down too. There is a Sovereign's Watch on the collection array, and the Cree are actually running away, and for a moment their Snoxtar was following them, but then instead his army turns to take out this base. The sides above also get taken out. That's unfortunate for GameFriend for sure. And I think GameFriend is in a precarious position if this push continues. He's pulling back some of the Kree that he had on the map. He's bringing his arc ship in to help heal them up. But yeah, Snoxtar's moving in, looking for a Ethereum purifier, some kind of infrastructure there, not finding it. There's a blast node. I'm like, where is that blast node? It's hiding. Oops. That scroll is a little out of whack here today. But yeah, this blast node was hiding behind the Guardian Nexus. And I think that was enough for Snoxtar to say, okay, I don't know if I really want to attack into that. Not really sure what GameFriend has behind it, which was not a lot, actually. But this is safe. Instead, just rotating around and taking out some of these extra bases. Just ensuring that if GameFriend does have a lot in that base down there, keep them trapped in there, not give them that income from these remote bases. These brutes not sure what they want to do here. But finally taking out these bases, and it looks like also finding this base up here. So what are we going to see as a reaction from GameFriend? He's got his units here, but what is this moving across? He's got his arc ships and arc station here, and size moving out to maybe try and do some harass. Hopefully, again, with a little bit of harass, hopefully trying to get this army to pull back. But this is a large army. It's mostly tier 1. So it's not super expensive, and meaning there could be one back at home waiting as well, although we see a lot of units streaming across the map. And this base is going to go down as well. And that leaves GameFriend on 2 bases. His sides are over here, trying to take out this Shroud Stone, but there's already Static D. So that delays the harass part of this. And there's only 2 sides there. The sides are better in a larger ball. We are seeing some imps go down though. But yeah, with only 2 sides here, 4 gaunts are enough to chase it away. The whole army didn't have to show up. Well, the sides, of course, are nice and speedy. They can go find other bases. This base is already down. Maybe find these gaunt or these imps that are transferring. But no, it looks like they're instead just heading home. Scout farm. Okay, so Snoxtar's regrouping, it looks like. He sent units all over there to clean up most of that side of the map. What do we see here? There's 2 sides that are trying to be a pain in the butt. And the collection array, I guess, was hiding in the trees. Very interesting. Sending the fiends up there. But there's no array to be found. At least not one that can be attacked by fiends. And do we see another base? Yeah, okay. So GameFriend is trying to get back into this by building a 3rd base up. Right back at his natural 3rd. But that's exactly where Snoxtar is headed right now. We hear those explosions as the Shadow Flyers impact onto a couple prisms, and we also see this arc ship going down. Some brave gaunts out in front, taking the Kree, but now the Kree are all dead and exploding. Look at all those light effects you see there. Some pretty good dark prophecies going down, so there's just as many gaunt guts on the ground as there is exploded Kree parts. And in fact, these dark prophecies are super clutch. That's the kind of turnaround you want to see if you're GameFriend. Just oh, this bug. Oh, geez. Okay, how do I stop it? There we go. No. Okay. That bug is double worse when you have lag, because then it won't respond to your other commands. All right. So I think GameFriend stabilized a little bit here. Again, not on as many bases as he'd want, and if he's going to do damage, it has to be fairly soon. Because Snoxtar's just got such an income here that he's going to be able to rebuild quickly. And Snoxtar's still just staying on this really, low-tech army. I don't think I've seen anything other than brutes and gaunts out of him so far. Shadow Flyers. We have seen some Shadow Flyers. There we go. A couple more. And he's gone back to creeping. He's just trying to stay ahead. He's sort of got a soft contain on GameFriend in this bottom part of the map. And GameFriend's just trying to get back in it by getting that income up and rebuilding his army. Now, one thing that I think you should be doing if you're Celestial, he did lose a couple of arcships, so this might be hard at the moment, is if you are you're forced to be on 3 bases like this, put prisms at your bases so your bases are fully saturated. And again, maybe he just doesn't have an arc ship right now that's convenient. Oh, there's one, and it's sending out prisms. It's sending out Morph Cores, so it's up there doing stuff. But now we see Weavers added by Snoxtar, so finally he's going to switch it up. He's also added Hellborn, which is technically what he was probably waiting for when he ran up against those Blast Nodes earlier and turned around and decided to come back later. There's no point in coming back if you're still just going to come back with the same comp. Might as well bring some siege units with you. And that's an upgraded Hellborn. We can see with the fire effect that happens when its fireballs land. That's just doing some damage over time to these units and make those Hellborns even extra fun to use. I just think the Vigil is pretty cool as well. Hope they keep tweaking it. What's going on? The whole army going up here because there are some size. I think actually Snoxtar's going to try and be a little bit smarter about this. He's sending half his army down here. I see a bunch of gaunts down here. There's a few gaunts up here expecting this move. So here we go. We'll see what happens. Now all these gaunts are just going to say yummy, 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 yummy. Let me take out those size. And pretty good splits from GameFriend to keep 2 alive. And now hiding them up in this high ground that is inaccessible except by flyers. Snoxtar's just got a huge army. 240 supply now to 118. That's a double supply army. But GameFriend's moving out, maybe trying to get on top of the army and see what kind of damage he can do. All these Animancers, unfortunately there are Weavers being added now. The Weavers are great for dealing with Animancers. If they can target the right Animancers, they can even cancel the Dark Prophecies. There's just lots of good Dark Prophecies here. Just not enough meat for GameFriend's army, and that is a GG for GameFriend. That's an end of this series.